Konnichiwa. Greetings. My name is Miyamoto Musashi. I am what is known as a samurai in the 17th century Japan. I'd say the following without pride, only honesty. I was highly successful in the way of the sword. In single combat alone, I killed 62 opponents in as many battles. I will now initiate you in the way of fire. Ha! But before I place the ultimate power of fire in your hands, you must understand this. If you desire to command this sacred flame, you must first be able to kindle it within. Search the deepest chambers of your heart and awaken the fire housed in your inner inferno, where you have also hidden your wounds, your fears, and your unfinished battles. Under my guidance, I will teach you to awaken this dragon's den by showing you how to ignite this hellfire. And if your soul cannot learn to command this blaze of your own spirit, the flames of battle will turn and consume you. This is not counsel, this is law. It is time I train you how to unleash passion without need of a reason. A courageous step few dare to make. But understand this, to own your passion in all its glory might make you look like a fool at times. But whenever we are able to act without calculating how our passion will be received as the birthplace of courage. In that open, unguarded space, your passion is fed by every bit of permission you can find. It ignites your inner fire without show and steps forward before you realize it has. And there, in that vulnerable surrender, it begins unlocking doors you were once too afraid to even touch. Fire is the most exciting element and yet the least loved. Comparatively, fire has by far the most creative power and simultaneously the harshest destructive power, both when it's misused or when any attempt to reach its potential fails. When it comes to combat, fire makes no distinction. It devours the smallest stick and the greatest house alike, reducing both to ashes. So it is in battle. Whether you face a single opponent or stand amid the chaos of war, the same flame must burn within you. The masses are afraid of fire. They're drawn to its warmth and its promise, and yet they shrink from the sacrifices it requires and the inner transformation it insists upon. I teach you how to reside in fire, feel the intensity of its burn, and yet not get scorched. I do not speak of fire because it can be tamed. I speak of it because it is sides. And let the sun scorch reality onto your backs like a hot iron to bring you a real one. Blood, sweat, and tears real. As my student, you will master that every area of pain you walk into voluntarily becomes another area where your enemy loses power. And know the following as a core truth to reality, one that never gets acknowledged by anyone. Every singular being upon this planet is competitive. That is why every wise man has mastered the art of war. And still, beware of those that speak lowly of competition. These Hito or conniving people will still attack you with every means they can find. Gossip, rules, emotions, and words. And watch out for all people who say they have no fire nor anger. They will try and mock you for using your sword and then stab you in the back when you let down your guard. They will try and convince you it's enlightened to be without sword and then break the rules to their advantage. They will even share the following false advice, that you must let go of your fire. I will teach you to never diminish your fire. In fact, I will stoke your fire, so whenever anybody will try and touch you up, they will burn themselves. But I will teach discipline as well, for you to never misuse your powerful gift of fire. In my dojo, I teach you how to enter every battle with the brightness of your weapons at its shiniest, and I will teach you how to carry this well-polished armor upon your well-trained physique of great posture and muscle structure. But know this as well. If you lack the intensity of inner fire at its scorching peak heat, one that is clearly held for the mastery of the entirety of the fire element and applied at will, and never initiated by whim or emotionality, only then will a real opponent be taken aback. This is the alpha burn that you can master under my tutelage, the one that moves people around like furniture simply by you entering a space. And in battle, your opponent will immediately know where he stands. This is why I train you to stand in your fire, a fire fully ablaze, and you will come to feel the intensity of my fire when you refuse to go there. I don't send you through this painful initiation out of vengeance, but out of an intense desire to protect you against your own destruction. When you lack the mastery of fire, your fight starts in battle. When you master your fire, this battle has started years ahead, perhaps even decades. This leg up forces every opponent to engage with you in an uphill battle. Fire, not as mere flame, but as the living reality of combat itself. The Book of Fire is the ground where theory is tested and spirit is revealed. No plan has ever survived contact with the enemy. Fire is engagement. It is the clash of steel, the breaking of rhythm, the moment when intention meets resistance. Here, strategy ceases to be philosophy and becomes action. You must study not only how to cut, but when to cut. Not only where to stand, but how to make the enemy stand where you desire, allowing you easier access to your opponent's more vulnerable places. Fire is the art of forcing the battle into your shape, like a blacksmith. In the practical application of fire, you must grab the initiative and never relinquish it. Know the difference between what is real and what is bait. Confuse the enemy's spirit. Strike his timing. When he thinks to advance, you suppress him. When he prepares to defend, you unsettle him. This is called holding down a pillow. Pressing firmly so he cannot rise. Fire spreads because it acts without hesitation. So too must your spirit spread into the opponent's mind, filling it with uncertainty and pressure. Victory is not won by strength alone, but by breaking the structure of the other man's will. When you let your opponent burn up in his own fire. And if needed, go scorched earth upon your enemy till nothing remains for him to cling to. Be as the Black Widow, carrying a venom that can bring down an opponent many times your size. Your fire is that poison. And like the widow who tempers her venom, giving only what the moment requires, fire too must be governed with wisdom, precision of timing, and volume. The untamed production of fire devours great amounts of fuel that must be replenished by the element of wood. And wood is grown by the earth, grounding. Energy that if squandered can't be used for developing the mind and the heart space, so use it wisely. In any battle, you have only one golden opportunity to strike, and your blade had better be sharp in order for that one strike to be successful. One split second where the doors of the afterlife open and one or two combatants is snatched away by Shimigami, the Grim Reaper, grandfather time. So be wary of all what dulls the blade, like the inner critic. If you are still unfamiliar with this inner critic, he is known by your quiet mind. He is your true enemy. The inner critic can easily defeat you before your enemy even reaches for a sword. By bringing forth doubt, bringing down morale, and causing distractions. If you cannot conquer this inner critic into becoming your ally, you will lose any combat on the battlefield. But if you get him on your side, you can take on a whole army and make fear join the other side. For this voice in you can unleash a fire and determination that no enemy is willing to confront. What else surely dulls your blade is when you do not take care of the vehicle that is your body through bad food, lack of sleep, or alcohol. Though they are not the worst of things in the world, I insist you never fall to this weakness on the day of battle or the day before. And ideally also never on the day you are training, which should be every day. This is how you stack wood to feed your fire when combat arises. When you understand the way of fire, you understand the moment when battle is decided. Fire is not only rage or destruction, it is the force that spreads when the moment is right. A small spark placed well can consume a great forest. In strategy, it is the same. Remember that fire also reveals weakness. A strong spirit spreads like flame in dry grass, but a weak spirit falters like fire in the rain. Train in the way until you can ignite action under any circumstances. See clearly, act decisively, and let your spirit burn brighter than that of your enemy. Study these teachings deeply. When you truly understand the fire of strategy, you will not merely fight battles, you will end them. My name is Miyamoto Musashi, and I'm here to teach you how to become a warrior who never gets defeated.